Windows 11 is not perfect, so if your PC feels slow, this video is for you. Today we'll go from a clean Windows install and fresh drivers to system setup, deep optimization and a little bit of personalization. And we'll start from a clean slate. For anyone who wants to reinstall Windows from scratch, you can download the official Windows 11 image from Microsoft's website. Pick ISO, choose your language and download it. To create the installer, you'll need a USB flash drive bigger than 8 GB. To make the install faster and bypass limits, we'll write the ISO with Rufus. Open the program. In Device, select your USB drive. In Boot Selection, choose your downloaded Windows ISO. Set partition scheme to GPT and target system to UEFI. Choose any volume label. The rest will auto-configure depending on the ISO. Click Start. You'll see a window called Windows User Experience. What should you pick there? Bypass TPM 2.0, secure boot and RAM requirements. Use this if your PC doesn't officially support Windows 11. Bypass Microsoft account. Lets you create a local account without the Microsoft account, plus internet hustle. Disable data collection and automatic BitLocker encryption. It doesn't help much at home, but it can cause real problems if Windows breaks and you need to recover data. The rest is up to you. Click OK, and while Rufus is writing the USB, do 3 important things. First, network driver. Go to your motherboard or laptop website and download the LAN or Wi-Fi driver. Backup. Save all important files from drive C because it will be fully wiped during the install. And third, rename your drives whatever you like, so you don't mix them up in the installer and delete the wrong one. Alright, when the USB is ready, restart your PC and open the boot menu. The key is different on different motherboards and laptops. Look for the correct key on the screen or search for it on Google. In the boot menu, choose your USB with the UEFI label. If it shows up as 2 options, pick Partition 1. In the Windows installer, everything is standard. Click Next until you reach the drive selection screen. Find your C drive, delete it and all the small system partitions on the same drive without a name. In the end, you should see one unallocated space. Select it and click Next. The installation will start. If you wrote the USB using Rufus, on the network step you'll have an option like I don't have internet. Choose that and Windows will let you create a local account. You can skip the password. And done, you're on the desktop. At this stage, I install the network driver first, connect to the internet and open Settings. About activation. This is an important step, because you need it for all features to work. As always, you can find activation keys on our favorite off store. Low prices, easy payment options, and instant delivery to your email. Link is in the description. Next, we need to let Windows install all the latest security patches. And while it's doing that, install your browser, all your main apps, launchers, and anything you use every day. It's important to do it now, so the optimization later takes your real software setup into account. From here, the optimization begins. First, we'll handle GPU drivers. I'll leave a link to an archive with everything you need in the description. You can download the driver from the official website for your GPU model. But for NVIDIA users, there's a better way. NVCleanstall. The default NVIDIA installer fills your system with extra components and telemetry that can run in the background and waste resources. NVCleanstall lets you build a cleaner driver setup. Pick only the components you really need. If you add the NVIDIA app, it will pull in even more extra stuff. So it's up to you. Make sure you enable the options to disable telemetry and ads, plus extra cleanup. Click Install and you'll get the normal NVIDIA installer. Go through the standard steps, and when it's done, close the tool. Before we go further, let's do one critical thing. Create a restore point. In Windows Search, type Create a restore point. In the window that opens, select your system drive. Click Create, give it any name, and confirm. Now, if anything goes wrong, or you just don't like the changes, you can come back to this menu, hit System Restore, and roll back Windows to this point. Now let's move on to system optimization. Run this file as administrator. Yeah, while other creators make full apps for optimization, I play with scripts, because it's simple, fast, and it changes only the settings I actually want. Let's break down what my script does. Power plan, switch from balanced to high performance, and even ultimate performance. If you have a desktop PC, this is a must for stable clocks. Background apps. Disable UWP apps running in the background. Delivery optimization. Turn it off, it's just extra load on your internet. Microsoft Edge. Stop it from running in the background. Hibernation. Disable it. It takes up space on drive C equal to your RAM size, constantly writes to your SSD and wears it out. Fast startup. This feature doesn't fully unload the Windows kernel on shutdown. If you have a modern SSD, it's better to disable it. Fast startup also gets disabled when you turn off hibernation. Privacy and ads. Clean up telemetry and add IDs. Less tracking equals fewer background tasks. Copilot. If you're not a fan of Microsoft's AI helper, this kills a couple more extra processes. User account control. Safely disable annoying pop-ups when you run files as admin. Context menu. Reduce the menu delay from 400 to 20 milliseconds. If your right-click menu feels slow, this can help. Wallpaper quality. Windows compresses your wallpaper by about 15%. This disables dead compression. Recommended section. Remove the useless recommended block from the start menu. Mouse acceleration. Turn it off, so your cursor moves exactly with your hand. No extra speed up. Sticky keys. Turn it off. That annoying pop-up that shows up at the worst time, especially in games. This takes effect after a reboot. I also added 2 extra features to the script. Taskbar cleanup. Unpins all pinned icons in one click. System cleanup. A command you'll actually use once a month. It clears temp files, cache, logs and leftovers from old updates. And for convenience, you can apply everything at once, or reset everything back to default if something goes wrong. Windows comes with a huge number of pre-installed apps, and most of them are useless junk. To remove them fast, we'll use my next .bat file. You can remove specific apps, or wipe everything in one go. Microsoft Store, OneDrive, Xbox and Edge are popular apps, so I didn't include them in the removal list, so we don't break anything. Next script is for File Explorer. I collected my favorite tweaks that make Explorer feel much nicer. 1. Makes it so when you open Explorer, you land on the drive list instead of the home page. 2, 3 and 4. Removes Home, Gallery and Network from the sidebar. 5. Adds a recycle bin icon inside the Explorer window. Super handy, especially when step 6 removes the recycle bin icon from the desktop. 7. Reduces the empty spacing between folders and files. Privacy disables frequent folders in the left menu. Only the folders you pin will stay. 9. Brings back the classic Windows 10 context menu. It just feels faster than the modern one. For the classic context menu tweak to work, you must restart File Explorer. And later, in the customization section, we'll talk about how to make your context menu even cooler and better looking. Also a small tip for sorting drives. Open grouping options and enable file system. Then set grouping to file system. Now if you plug in a USB drive, it will show as a separate group from your system drives. And if you don't want grouping at all, just set it to none. Windows settings also hide a bunch of options that are worth tweaking. Let's go through the key tabs. System, Display. Night light, a good feature that reduces blue light at night, so your eyes get less tired and you fall asleep easier. I personally use Flux app because the built-in night mode can be a bit buggy. Make sure your resolution matches your monitor. Scaling depends on resolution and screen size. Recommended is usually the best. In advanced display settings, make sure your refresh rate is set to the maximum. In graphics settings, enable optimizations for windowed games, so borderless window gaming performs like full screen. Hardware-accelerated GPU scheduling can also be enabled on RTX 30 series, and newer, it lets the GPU manage RAM directly, reducing CPU load. Back to system. Power. I set screen timeout to never, but if you're on a laptop or an OLED monitor, set it to 5 minutes to help prevent burn-in. Multitasking. I disable most snap windows features. The hover UI creates visual noise. For window organization, I use another tool that I'll mention later. In advanced settings, enable End Task. Now when an app freezes, you can right-click it on the taskbar and hit End Task, like in Task Manager. Clipboard. Useful feature that stores up to 25 copied items and screenshots. In About, you can open advanced system settings, performance, and disable some visuals like animations and shadows. This makes Windows feel snappier. I usually keep only 4 basic options enabled. Personalization. Here you can set wallpapers and lock screen images. I prefer a dark theme. In Start I remove ads and the recommended stuff, and keep only my most used folders. On the taskbar, I usually disable Search and Task View because I like keyboard shortcuts. Apps. Advanced settings. You can disable Share across devices if you don't use it, and in Startup turn off the apps you don't want to launch with Windows. Gaming, just make sure game mode is enabled. It now works properly. It limits background activity and gives your game priority. You should disable it only if you stream. Privacy and security. Windows security. Device security and core isolation. In my experience, disabling core isolation can give you more FPS in CPU-heavy games like CS2 and Valorant, sometimes up to 15%. But it can also cause issues with anti-cheat like Faceit. Personally, I've never had problems. In NVIDIA Control Panel, I make the following settings. In the G-Sync settings, I enable G-Sync support only for full-screen applications. This is the most stable mode and prevents UI flickering in desktop and work apps. I also check this box to enable G-Sync on my FreeSync compatible monitor. In the Change Resolution tab, I choose Use NVIDIA Color Settings. And since my monitor supports it, I set Output Color Depth to 10 and Output Dynamic Range to full. In Adjust Desktop Size and Position, you can leave scaling set to aspect ratio or set it to full screen if you play CS2 in 4:3. For perform scaling, I set it to GPU, because my graphics card handles stretching the image faster and with better quality than the monitor. But if you notice input lag after this setting, you can switch it back to display. Also enable override the scaling mode set by games and programs, which prevents games from changing the scaling rules on launch. And in the Manage 3D Settings tab, enable vertical sync. Together with G-Sync, it removes screen tearing. The important part is to disable V-Sync in the in-game settings. Max frame rate. I set 157 frames per second because my monitor is 160 Hz. This prevents the FPS counter from hitting the 160 Hz ceiling. For example, if your refresh rate is 144 Hz, set it to 3 frames per second less. That is 141. Set low latency mode to ultra to minimize system latency as much as possible. Shader cache size. Set it to 10 GB or unlimited. This lets games store compiled shaders on your SSD, which helps a lot with micro stutters and loading stutter when new areas stream in. Anisotropic filtering to 16 times. It makes textures at an angle as sharp as possible. It barely affects FPS. I also enable threaded optimization. It helps the processor distribute the workload across threads more efficiently. It's also important to note that by the time this video is released, NVIDIA will likely have already discontinued support for the NVIDIA Control Panel, so all of these settings will also be available in the NVIDIA app. That's it for optimization settings. You could go further and remove Windows Defender, Microsoft Store, and dozens of other tasks and components. But in the end, you lose security and stability, with basically zero performance gain. So I don't do that. I'd rather focus on making PC work more comfortable. One must-have app for any Windows user is PowerToys. It's an official Microsoft program, open source, and it's a set of useful tools. There are 25 plus modules, but you shouldn't enable everything at once. Even though PowerToys is optimized, every active module uses a bit of RAM. Start with the most useful ones. My favorites is Fancy Zones, Advanced Window Manager. You can build your own layout, and when you drag a window while holding Shift, it snaps into the right zone. Command Palette, a universal search bar, like Spotlight on macOS. It can launch apps instantly, find files, solve math, and run system commands. Color Picker lets you quickly copy a color code from any pixel on your screen. Peek, a great alternative to Quick Look. Fast preview of any file with Control plus space. Power Display makes it easy to adjust your monitor brightness, contrast and volume right from Windows. And always on top, pins any window above all others. Earlier, I mentioned an improved context menu. That's the shell tool. I won't over-explain it, because I already have a full video about it. But in short, it lets you fully customize your menu. In my optimization folder, I included a portable version with my ready-made config. You just run shell.exe as administrator and click register. The main advantage of my config is that the menu items are grouped tighter and don't take up half the screen. Finally, let's touch a bit of customization. The best tool right now is Windhawk. It has lots of visual and functional mods, and my video proves it. Here are my top 3 mods. Start button always on the left, moves the start button to the left, while app icons stay centered. Taskbar dock animation adds a macOS style animation to the taskbar. Dark mode context menus forces old white Win32 menus into dark mode. Sometimes I also use start menu and taskbar styler mods, but I'll cover that in separate customization videos. And the simplest and most effective customization: change your mouse cursor. I saved the best cursor packs in my Telegram channel secret link. And if you like the result, you can make one more system backup to lock in Windows in that perfect state we achieved. Alright, I hope this video was useful, so please support it with a like, subscription and a comment. This was official, don't waste your time. Good luck and see you!